E3 2014. I'm your host, Danny Dwyer, and I'm joined by Joe Albertson.
How you doing?
How you doing, my friend?
Good.
Dubstep.
Yes.
It's the one thing everyone's been saying. It's just there's not enough video games. Video games have dubstep, but there's not enough video games which are entirely based around dubstep.
And that's how it started, was brainstorm session.
Really?
Let's make a game about dubstep. And everyone went wild. And then we moved on, talked about some other games, and we actually picked a different game. I don't even remember what it was because I looked around the room and I said, screw it, we're doing the dubstep one. Everyone went, yeah! And
Dub
so-
Wars.
Yes.
You guys, I've seen the Steam page. You're on early access at the moment as well.
Right now, we just got approval, and so we're looking at Fridays when we're going to launch.
Excellent. Oh wow, really?
Yeah, early
This
access
Friday?
this Friday.
E3 special
Yes.
coming at you. All right, so while looking at the gameplay here, for folks at home, explain what Dub Wars is.
Okay, so the way it works is instead of being an arcade shooter where you just mash the button and just fire and shoot everything, the weapons actually are controlled by the music. So if it's a really heavy part, the bass drops, then you get these big giant lasers. If there's nothing, it's a little melody, you're running for your life. So that's the strategy.
Awesome. So it's instead of picking the different weapons you want to fire at any one time, it's kind of up to the song.
Correct. And
So-
so we custom build everything around the music. And so a new song means all new weapons, a whole new experience.
Excellent. All right, let's hop into a level so we can see some of it here.
So this introductory is going to get you started. A couple things coming out at you. And we actually go through and pick which sounds we want to put to the player weapons. And then eventually we'll have some that'll be the backgrounds, enemy movement.
Oh wow.
We're really trying to integrate the music into the gameplay as much as we can.
Are you guys writing the music as well then?
No, I'm licensing everything.
Oh,
So,
excellent.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time combing the internet for the dubstep that's going to work.
There's not. Yeah, I imagine if you go deep enough, there's quite a lot of people just making dubstep for the hell of it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just chucking it up there like.
I mean, that's a famous game is you type dubstep in a word and see what comes up, and there's usually 99% of the time you'll find a hit.
So I guess knowing the songs is obviously a benefit. Like,
Yeah.
so making sure you're in the right position for the right weapon and stuff like that.
So that's the strategy of it is as you learn the song, you know when the big laser's coming up or when to avoid, then you can start kiting enemies and survive.
I want to let the folks at home know that if you have any questions for Joe, at Danny O'Dwyer on Twitter. I'm also looking at the GameSpot chat as well. So if you have any questions for Joe, by all means, send them in. So how big is Mura? How many of you guys are actually working on this?
So right now there's about 9 of us. So
Sweet.
yeah, we've got a decent sized team and growing. And we're actually looking for an effects artist. So if there's anybody out there that's like, oh, I can make those effects amazing, then absolutely hit us up.
It's looking pretty sharp at the moment. Are you guys doing this in your spare time, the effects part?
Yeah, we've actually been covering because we don't have a solid person in for that position. So,
Excellent, nice work. All right, well, yeah, email me and I'll send it on and I'll get my commission
yeah,
taken off the
excellent.
top. I
There we
guess.
go.
How many songs are you going to have in the game? Like, it's kind of an interesting thing where a song is a mission.
Right.
Or a
It's a
song is a
level,
level.
right.
Kind of like Luminous or something like that.
Right.
It's like,
So the early access beta will have 5 songs, and then we've licensed 10. So we're working as fast as we can to start putting in the next level. And so as we're pumping out new levels, we'll be polishing the game, all the way through launch. And then after that, what's great about being each level is a song is DLC is just unlimited.
oh, yeah, of course.
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, this thing could extend out for a long time.
I'm sure it's probably incredibly difficult, but what comes to mind as well is something like Audio Surf. There's no way of just having it so you can import your own dubstep and music gets played, right?
Right. So we decided to really hone the experience and custom do everything. And so we put a lot of love into each level to make sure that the weapons are there. And instead of just reading an MP3 of anything, jamming to Britney Spears or whatever,
Yeah.
we're really saying no. We want the right dubstep music, and we're going to make everything to be a really fun experience.
And GWX is asking what platforms this game is on. So we're looking at the PC version now. Are you guys looking at consoles as well?
So we've got the beta on the Ouya game console, and then we're launching on Steam for PC and Mac, and then we're going to get Linux support up as soon as we can.
Excellent.
And then from there, other platforms, we're looking at consoles. So putting it on the PS4,
Yep.
Xbox One, Wii U, and then also mobile. So it's really about we want to find the experience for mobile. What do? Virtual joysticks, touch controls. So
Yeah.
until we figure that out, we want to make sure that it's a fun experience, and then we'll launch.
That's cool. You seem like you're approaching it responsibly. You're not biting off too much, more than you can chew or anything
Right,
like that.
right.
What about the folks who have made the songs? Because in my head, I'm imagining a bunch of people around the world who have made dubstep who are like trying to find an audience. because making good music, you can make good music and have nobody ever listen to it.
Right.
Like, what's the reaction from people when you email them and go, yo, I'm making this twin stick shooter, you want to put your song in this game?
Actually, the first one that we put in, this guy didn't even have a license yet. And
Really?
so, yeah, he's just living at home, making some dubstep, and we had a connection through one of our artists, reached out
sweet.
to him, and we put him in the game, and so that's been a lot of fun. So it's really about, we wanted some more established artists. We're obviously going to roll that way, but there's some of these guys that are following us on Twitter, and I'll send them a message. They'll be like, hey, I just listened to your SoundCloud. Like, I'm interested.
So
in
are
talking to
people
you."
pitching you songs then, essentially?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Have you had a situation where somebody's made a song specifically so the pacing of the game, like how are you working with them on that, or are you using songs and then as level designers and game designers trying to craft a good experience around that?
So starting out, we've been picking established songs because one of our prototypes was actually taking dubstep elements and trying to mix it together. And we found that, no, instead of altering the music or trying to custom build it, we want a finished song that people enjoy, they can listen to on repeat,
Yeah.
and then we'll build around that. So there eventually will be some artists, I think, that will write specifically for our game, but same rules apply. If it doesn't fit, then we can't use it.
That's interesting because I guess like one of the things that perhaps people who aren't very familiar with dubstep as a wider genre would say that it's pretty intense. So if you're trying to make a game where you want somebody to sit down and play it for a little while,
Yeah.
like maybe blaring dubstep in their ear holes is not the best way of doing it. How do you kind of throttle that? How do you make sure that the music is impactful but without being just overwhelming?
So those are some things that we look for. If it's got a good melody, and it's not just, because there's dubstep that's just non-stop and it just kills you. And we avoid that stuff because it is too much. It's very taxing. And that's kind of our test, is if we can design to it and listen to it continuously, then players should be able to do the same.
Do you have levels then that are longer because the songs are longer?
Yeah.
Like, what's
and
the average kind of length?
We're looking at 3 to 5 minutes, and we kind of want to stick within that time frame. But if we get a really good song that's 6 minutes or one that's 2 minutes, then we'll build that and put that in there.
Am I right in saying that I think I remember seeing this as a Kickstarter as well, right?
Yeah, we did a small Kickstarter to kind of get things started.
It was like last summer, I think, or something?
Yeah. And so it's kind of been a pretty long process. Just licensing the music has been 9 months, so some of these publishers, bless their heart, are very difficult to push things through.
It's pretty, like, the music industry, as archaic as the games industry can be sometimes about licensing and copyright and stuff, the music industry is just a hell of a mess. Have you had any, like, dubstep's pretty big in Japan as well, and their music licensing stuff is an absolute nightmare. Is it mostly North American stuff, or?
So that's actually something we were looking forward to, is once we establish the market here, then we're going to reach out and build, music for South Korea or China or Japan, use their artists, and then actually outsource so that, the backgrounds all fit with their culture.
Let me talk a little bit about the Kickstarter as well. Like, what you've created, it seems to be like a game that is has the potential to be very fun and engaging. But it also, like, just the hook of it, the idea that this is a game based around, like, you firing off dubstep, and then the name as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know, it's immediately recognizable and kind of funny.
Yeah.
With the Kickstarter, do you think the people who were investing were doing so just because that sounds like a dumb idea, sure, and we're throwing money in? Or are they sort of engaged in the project?
We actually didn't launch our Kickstarter until we had a playable demo.
Okay.
And so that really helped a lot because we've kind of got that fun factor where 3 seconds we're hooking a lot of people.
Yeah.
And some of the comments we hear are like, I hate dubstep, and then they play it, they're like, I love dubstep, So we're really taking the music and getting the most out of it. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. So how long have you been working on this then? If it was, you already had a demo out before you even did your Kickstarter.
So we started last January, and
Okay.
the team size has been as big as 9 and as small as just 1.
Yeah.
And so there was a while I was just working on this myself. So it actually started Utah Valley University. So it was kind of a college project that I spun off, and we're pushing it commercial.
Awesome. So when can people actually get to play Dub Wars on Friday, I guess?
Friday will be on Steam, and we're going to be launching, I want to say 12 o'clock
Okay.
Pacific time. So, yeah, we'll get it out as early as we can and get people playing it.
Sweet. And you got to go home and make sure you've got all those support emails ready to hit them back.
A bunch of pre-typing emails and everything. So
Awesome. Joe, pleasure. Thank you so
Hey.
much for coming on the stage and showing us Dub Wars.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Best of luck with the launch on Friday as well.
Thank you.
Cool.